boys and girls, today we're going to draw a yummy cupcake. Cupcakes make me happy, so we're going to use bright colors. The cupcake you're looking at here was done with oil pastel, but I know if we don't have oil pastels at home, we certainly can use crayon, markers, or even colored pencils. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my paper in front of me, and I want you to draw your cupcake with a pencil. I'm going to use a Sharpie so that I can make sure that you can see it on the camera. So I'm going to turn my paper tall, which is also vertical, and I'm going to think about how big I can make my cupcake. One of the things I like to do on my paper is sometimes I like to mark my paper where the bottom of my cupcake might be, where the wrapper or the icing meet together, and sometimes I even mark the top of my paper so that I know how tall to make my icing. Okay, so I've got my paper ready, and again, you're going to use pencil. I'm going to use a Sharpie so that you can see. I'm going to make a little mark at the bottom. I'm going to make a little mark in the middle, and I'm also going to make a tiny mark at the top so that I know how big I need to draw. The first thing we're going to do is actually start with the bottom of the cupcake, which is the cupcake paper that's located right about here. I'm going to go off to the side. I'm going to draw a line that's slightly angled. I'm going to bring that cupcake straight across, and I'm going to bring that line right back up, slightly angled again, so that I can get some nice shape. For the top of my cupcake paper, I'm just going to make nice little easy zigzags. We all know most of our cupcake paper has that nice texture, so those zigzags are going to help get that accomplished. I can go ahead if I wanted to and actually draw those lines in for my cupcake paper. And I'm going to just be very careful. Draw them as straight as I can be so that they meet from the top to the bottom. I can tell that this is going to be a really big and yummy cupcake. Okay, the next thing I need to do is figure out what type of icing I'm going to put on top. And I like icing that is nice and thick and fluffy. So I'm going to start by putting a backwards C on one side, and I'm going to put another C on this side. Actually, that is a frontward C, isn't it? This is the backward C. Okay, so then I'm going to actually just connect those letters kind of smooth. I'm going to go to the next layer. I'm going to put my backward C and my forward C, and I'm going to curve again so it's fluffy. Every time that my cupcake gets another layer of icing, it's a little bit shorter than the icing below. And when I get right about here, I can see I'm almost to the top of my paper. I'm going to go ahead and make a big point. So there's my cupcake. I've filled the page. Right now, though, my cupcake is floating in the air. We can't have my cupcake floating in the air. So to put my cupcake on a table, I'm going to draw a straight line that goes behind my cupcake, and suddenly my cupcake is sitting on the table. Again, you've done this in pencil, so if you need to fix anything, you certainly can. I'm even going to go ahead with my Sharpie, and I'm going to draw kind of like a shadow on one side, so that if the light was here, it would create a shadow on the cupcake on this side. Boys and girls, that is an example of how to fill the page with a cupcake. Again, this one was done in oil pastel. If you don't have oil pastels, you certainly could use crayon for your cupcake. Notice how I added some sprinkles, the little dots, the sprinkles. I even decorated my cupcake paper. If you don't have crayons but you have markers, you can also color your cupcake with markers. This cupcake is a little bit plain, but I don't think I'm done with it yet. So boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this little cupcake episode on your Google Classroom. I will also include how to draw a cupcake, and I will also include some cupcake samples. Remember, fill the page, draw light till you get it right, and be brave.